What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. All right, guys, we have ourselves some pretty big news. Because the game ranked #1 on the Google app and Play Store, they are now giving us 3,000 gems for free. So 3,000 essence stones for anybody who hit level 10. That's right, they really don't want you re-rolling. You're gonna need to hit level 10. And also, if you have done it before, if you hit level 10 before, you're also gonna get yourself the 2,000 gems as well too for hitting level 10. So that's 5,000 gems just for playing the game. So they really are not wanting you guys to re-roll. They want you to actually play the game, and they're providing you good reasons to do it. 2 free multis right there just for that. So shout out to Netmarble for doing that. Also, damn it, Netmarble, why don't you want us re-rolling? All right, with that out of the way, we're going to talk about crafting. We're going to talk about SSR weapons for SSR hunters, and I'm going to give you guys alternatives as well too with SR weapons that you can use for them. Now we're going to talk about the crafting system and how to get these weapons. Before I do that though, keep in mind, this is important, SR units currently do not have their SSR weapons available, but they are going to be coming. And the way to see them is if you click on any SR unit and click on their profile name, you can see their weapons. I'm going to show you guys one, for example, that's pretty damn OP. So you can, if you guys know this, I made a video of Park Hee-jin when she first dropped, well, when the game first dropped, and I told you guys how OP she was. Now check out her SSR weapon, okay? So this is coming soon. You can see it right here. Increases the user's ultimate damage by 5%. When the user's ultimate skill is used, the ultimate skill damage of all the users on the team is increased by 5% for 20 seconds. That is insanely powerful. If you max that out, look at this. Goes up to an additional 20% of everyone's ultimate. Bro, what a crazy, amazing weapon. So just so you guys are aware, these are not out yet, but they will be out in the near future. So remember, save those up. Okay, so you guys can see here, you currently cannot craft them, but they are coming. I have a funny feeling probably in the next patch more than anything else. So SR units, guys, still top tier for a lot of them, and their weapons are going to make them even better. So remember that as you are playing the game, there are going to be a lot of usable SR units with their SSR weapons. All right, speaking of SSR weapons, we're going to go and talk a little bit about how to acquire them. Now, one way is through the event. When a new limited character drops, they have an accompanied event that comes with it. As you play the event, you have an option to get yourself a free copy of that weapon and then additional fragments to craft more of those copies. So in this case, it's Cha Haein, so you can use her. And by the way, I always say the last name first because I'm following Korean traditions or Japanese traditions or Chinese traditions or Asian traditions essentially. So a lot of people ask me why I do that. It's the reason why you got to respect the culture. Anyways, so you will get yourself fragments. Now, as you collect the fragments after the initial first free weapon, you're going to be able to craft that once you get 100 of them. So you go to the crafting section when you unlock this, and there's a little icon here that actually allows you to craft their weapons here. So you can see here, I have 14 out of 100 of these, and I've got 15 days to complete it. So once I hit 100 of these fragments, I go to max, and then I craft. It takes 20,000 gold. Okay, now this only applies for the characters that are currently existing in the limited banner for the time of the event, right? So in this case, it's Cha. SM Beck had his, Choi had his. That's going to be probably the flow going forward. Now, there are options to, of course, craft that weapon as well too, even if you don't finish the event. Now, just so you guys are aware, the way they've done it now is if you don't have enough fragments to craft it, by the time the 15 days is 10 hours is over, you lose all the fragments and they convert it to gold, which is not a lot of gold, by the way. It's like 50, I think it's 50 gold per fragment. So make sure you try your best to get at least 1 copy or 2 copies of these to advance them. And always advance your weapons. Don't melt them, guys. There's always buffs to characters. You're going to regret it one day if you don't have someone's weapon because you decided to salvage them. Don't do that until you max out weapons. That's just my advice. Do what you want though, but that's what I think. All right. How do you craft weapons? All right, we're going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to show you guys all the sources on how to get all these material, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about SR weapons that fit really good with units if you don't have their SSR weapons, okay? So, 2 things always required. You're going to need the Hunter exclusive weapon design, which is the hardest part to get, and then you're also going to require the mana power crystals, the big ones. I'm going to talk about how to get both of these. Now, for the mana crystals, pretty straightforward. You play Battlefield of Time, you can use your Battlefield of Time tokens to buy these. Same thing with the red crystals, okay? The shop also has them. So I'm going to show you guys the shop first. When you go to the weapon material exchange shop, you have 2 ways to salvage. You can salvage rare weapons or SR weapons or SSR weapons, and every single time you'll get these traces of dimensions, okay? These can be used to purchase right here, these giant crystals, okay? Now, my recommendation to you is never salvage SR weapons or SSR weapons until you max them. I've said this already, right? Now, when you start salvaging SR weapons and SSR weapons, you're also going to have the opportunity to get yourself these mana power imbued castings. This allows you to purchase 2 per month of these weapon designs. All right, so that's how to get them. Number one, maybe every 2 weeks. Sorry, I think it's every 2 weeks, not every month. Every 2 weeks. It does reset in 6 days and 10 hours. So every 2 weeks, you'll be able to get both materials from here. Now, another place to get them is the Battlefield of Time exchange shop. Now, this place is important because you should be doing Battlefield of Time. This is going to be based on your ranking on the main event, not the seasonal event, the main event, which is the 4 bosses that are on top. So currently it's Tusk or Kargalagalagalagalagan. And then when you beat that and the day is over, you claim the rewards, you get these Battlefield of Time, Medal of Time tokens, and you should always be getting yourself these Hunter exclusive weapon designs and also these limited tickets, and specifically the limited ones here. That's the best way to do it. All right. Now, another place they don't mention, I don't know why they don't mention this, is the Power of Destruction Dragon Fight. Okay, so when you start doing these and you get the blue chests have the opportunity to drop the mana crystals based on whatever element that boss is on the week. So right now he's no element, it's just random. But let's say you fight the light element one, he'll drop the light element crystal instead. Okay, that's how that works. There is also these purple boxes. So as you go up in damage, you get the opportunity to get these 3-star ones or these epic ones, and they actually drop a chance to drop these Hunter exclusive weapon design ones. So there you guys go right there, right? So you guys can get these from here as well too. They don't mention it in the source, but I want to let you guys know it does exist, and this is where to do them, right? So very important, guys, to try to obviously increase your damage in these fights, at the very least to get the mana crystals. The rest of this is very whaley. Most of the time, this is something that not even I can hit right now. So 181, so that depends on the fight. So there's another place you can get it. Now, pay-to-win areas. I want to talk about those because there are pay-to-win players. A couple places you can buy these. So first off, in the mission bundle, under, I think it's Reverse Story Clear. You guys can see there's a couple right here. Reverse Story Pack 1 and 2 has 6 here and 5 here. Okay, so there's a place you can purchase these if you're finishing the Reverse Story modes. Also, under Special, there is a section that monthly you can buy this SSR Hunter exclusive weapon pack, which gives you the 2 red tokens and some mana crystals, as well as some gold. And then sometimes they'll release this. For example, this is for SMBEC. You can actually buy the weapon outright with designs and some EXP. So those are options as well too that are available to you to get. Now everything else here I don't believe has any of these. Let me just check the growth support. Yeah, none of these have them outside of that. So there you guys go. That's another place to buy these. Now, what do you do when you get them? Okay, so the first thing you do is you go to craft. Let me craft one. I'll show you guys how this works. And then you go to the weapon you want to craft, right? So in this case, let's just say I want to give Sal a saw here or something, right? I want to craft her. So I'm going to go ahead and craft this. And what will happen is you get a copy of it. And I'm going to show you guys something that you need to stop doing. A lot of people always ask me the question, Payne, can I use an SSR Hunter's weapon on a hunter who's not the proper hunter? Yes, you can, of course. But you lose out the most important thing, which is the trait. Okay, so I always keep telling people, focus on giving it to the proper hunter because the trait matters more than the stats, in my opinion. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what happens if you don't have the proper SSR weapon for the proper unit. What's a good replacement? So let's just use Cha as a quick example, and I'll show you guys a couple other ones. So Cha, for example, is based off of attack. You can see from her SSR weapon, she has attack, precision, right, and total power. Now, let's just say I want to exchange, if I don't have her weapon, I want to give her something that's viable. So we know because she does crit damage, and her weapon here actually increases crit damage by 8% for 12 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. Well, this bow here has attack, has precision because it's duped, and also increases the critical hit damage as a flat stat without any stacking by 24%. So this is a perfect replacement for Cha. Straightforward. This is her best SR weapon. Now, that's not always cut and dry though, right? Let's take, for example, Choi, who actually does not crit and does also scale off attack. So what's more important for Choi, the trait or the stat, right? So if I go back to this is useless for him because he doesn't crit, so he can't use crit hit damage. So I have the option to go with a dagger, which does have attack and increases his basic attack, but really his basic attacks aren't really that useful to me. Or I can go for more traits. So in this case, for example, I want to do attack and I want to go with elemental damage weakness. Great. Let's say I'm fighting something that's weak against fire. Well, this gives me attack and elemental weakness, so this is the perfect addition for him. It'll allow him to do more damage, plus gives him stats. Now, let's just say I want to build him with more power gauge. Well, I have to take into account HP here. Yeah, it doesn't give him attack, but look at this. Increases the power gauge by 32% more. So he's going to be doing ultimates way more often. And if you dupe it, you actually, up to A6 and above, you actually get an increase in your attack, defense, and HP anyways by 10%. So it depends on how you build the units. This is a prime example where this and this are very, very viable. As a matter of fact, even the staff here, because you can build your power gauge every time he does a QTE, which is the quick trigger attack, and he does that so damn often because you want to bring him into defense shred and burn shred as much as you possibly can. So Choi is an example of that, right? So let's talk about someone else. Let's talk about Dong Su, right? Dong Su is a defense DPS. He scales off of defense. So a great example for him would be this. So you can go with the axe. He loves basic attacks and core attacks. This here gives him a core attack increase of 24% and also gives him defense here, which will give him the main stat that he needs. So another prime example of a perfect fit. But let's find someone who's not a perfect fit. So take in Beck. He does scale off of defense. He needs light damage. So for him, I would actually use the sword for the trait, but there's also the option of this one here taking less damage from bosses or core attack. So at the end of the day, is it trait that matters or stat that matters? That's up to you and your character. So there's a couple different options you can go with, right? Emma and Sao are another two good examples. So Sao here, or Saw, uses crit damage as her main spec, right? So again, this bow is perfect, even though it doesn't have HP, but she scales off of HP. So maybe I want to use the book to give her ultimates even faster. So there's many different options, guys. So these are a couple of good choices for these characters that you can go with. So it's not always cut and dry. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Lim, for example, loves using basic attacks. So if you don't have his bow, you can see here, this increases the basic attack. Well, the dagger is perfect for him, right? Increases user's basic attack, also gives him attack. SM Beck, same scenario. He loves to do his core damage or basic attacks. So you can do basic attacks again with attack spec, which is perfect for him. Or you can do core damage with defense spec. So yes, he does lose the attack, but he gets the core. And if you also dupe it enough, you'll still get enough of the stats from the duping itself. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one.